Alright, let's talk about FragPunk, the new FPS developed by Bad Guitar Studio that's making some noise in the hero shooter space. It's got bright visuals, decent fast-paced gameplay, and a unique card-based modifier system that promises to make each match feel different than the other. Sounds cool, right? But let's be real. How many times have we seen the next big thing in competitive shooters just fizzle out? Latest examples being the games like X-Defiant, Concord, and Spectre Divide. So is FragPunk really bringing something fresh, or is it just another flashy game doomed to fade into the background? Let's dive in. So FragPunk is a 5v5 hero shooter that mixes classic arena-style gameplay with ability-based characters and most notably a card system that modifies matches in real time. Every round, players can apply different buffs or debuffs, changing the dynamics of the fight. On paper, it's a cool idea that brings the best of both hero and arena shooters, but here's my question. Will it actually add depth, or is it just another gimmick that gets moved on real fast? I have mixed feelings about the core gameplay. The movement is decent. Now all the Lancers can slide in arcade matches, unlike in the open beta where only Exxon had the passive ability to slide, which made him extremely broken. They also removed most of the passive abilities from the Lancers except for Pathogen, which is not that of an OP passive in my opinion. I would also like to add that I personally find the Lancer abilities to be somewhat a hindrance to the actual gameplay. Maybe one would have been fine, but 3 abilities on top of a card system feels overkill. Also on the same note, Broker's launcher is super broken, so yeah, there goes character balancing out of the window. The gunplay feels somewhat decent, but it feels like shooting lasers as there is little to no recoil in the guns whatsoever. The time to kill on the other hand felt well balanced, at least from what I have seen so far. But the main issue here is that this game is going up against juggernauts like Overwatch 2, Valorant and Marvel Rivals. Those games have refined mechanics and a dedicated player base that has been religiously playing these games. So what's FragPunk bringing to the table that's going to attract and most importantly, keep people invested? Now, the card system is FragPunk's big hook. These power-ups can drastically alter gameplay, from turning enemies' head big to allowing players to plant bomb at their spawns. Again, it looks fun, but here's my concern. For competitive players, will this system turn out to be rewarding, or will it just add unnecessary randomness and occasional frustration? Competitive shooters thrive on balance, and if the card system disrupts that too much, it could certainly turn those players away. In terms of different game modes, it has your traditional attack and defend game mode called Shard Clash, along with arcade modes such as Team Deathmatch, Free for All, etc. In addition to those, the game also offers training mode and custom mode. Shard Clash also has a ranked mode and an advanced mode that can be accessed at player level 30 or beyond. Arcade has 3 fixed and 2 game modes on rotation. Under Arcade, Scrimmage and Outbreak were new for me and I really liked playing Scrimmage. It is basically PvP with no rules and no winners or losers, unlimited respawns and no cards at play. It's a fun mode for players to warm up before jumping into other competitive modes, or if you just want to play for some time but don't want to commit to a specific amount of time. This mode is perfect to try out new weapons and see if they are viable in a PvP scenario without having to jump into an actual match. Outbreak is another fun arcade mode where at the start of a match a few players get infected and the rest needs to survive till the time runs out. Both these game modes impressed me quite a lot. There's just one thing that's bugging me just a little bit. Scrimmage seems more like a training mode than a proper game mode. Since we already have a versus AI mode under training, I feel it would seem more accurate to move Scrimmage as a PvP mode under training. At the time of this recording, there are a total of 9 maps in the game, 2 maps specifically for Outbreak, and the rest 7 maps are for Shard Clash and other arcade modes in the game. All the maps are vibrant in color and really stand out in their design, but I found a few of the maps to be a bit more cluttered than my liking. It's not a major issue and changes in regards to map design can be made in future seasons with player feedback, but overall I'm really happy with what this game has to offer in terms of different game modes and maps at launch. Visually, FragPunk has a colorful, cyberpunk-inspired aesthetic. It's stylish, sure, but also feels pretty familiar, specifically in terms of its characters. This game seems to be drawing inspiration from other multiplayer shooters a bit too much than I would have preferred. Let me know in the comments if I am wrong, but when I say Kismet, my brain immediately points to Jet from Valorant. Likewise, when I see Axon, he immediately reminds me of Green from X-Defiant, and when I see Circuit, she reminds me of Loba from Apex Legends. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but the industry is already packed with hero shooters that struggle to stand out. Also, it is just an assumption, but the art design of the game feels a bit AI generated. I hope it's not the case, but if it's true, then the developers need to be proactive and transparent about this. Gamers in general are not fond of AI stuff being incorporated in games, and specifically if later it's found out that this was the case with FragPunk, I am afraid this will significantly affect the player retention. As being said by one of my favorite content creator Luke Stevens on YouTube many times, that perception plays the utmost role in making a game successful or flop. If the gaming community perceives a game to be not cool, then it is almost given that the game will flop because nobody will want to play that game. Just simply take a look at Concord for an example. There are already suggestions and questions popping in various social media platforms about AI being used in the art design of FragPunk, and once again, if that's really the case and the devs are not being upfront about it, the gaming community may certainly deem it uncool, and you can imagine the rest. So I'd hope that the devs address this topic as soon as possible before it makes a permanent impact on the game. On the positive side of things, you can choose your preferred wallpaper for the main menu out of a set of in-game wallpapers. The list is not exhaustive as players can earn more wallpapers through events, battle passes, etc. I find this to be really cool and a big thumbs up for the devs for keeping this as a feature in the game. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room, monetization. We are already seeing a free-to-play model with 3 different tiers of battle passes, monthly and annual subscription models, and quite aggressive monetization in the store. To their credit, there isn't anything pay-to-win in the game till now. At least I haven't seen anything that seems like a pay-to-win, but I'm certainly not happy with the pricing in the store. $40 for a bundle, $20 for a character skin is absolutely absurd in my opinion. Spectre Divide is prime example of one of those games which had a lot of potential, but the really aggressive focus on monetization at launch really pushed players away from the game, and now, just after one season, the game is about to be shut down. There are 3 different currencies in the game. On top of it, you will have separate event points or currency that you will earn by doing different activities. For God's sake, this is just an arena shooter. Please don't overcomplicate things where it is not needed. Also, some of the base cosmetics such as the name cards and stickers that you get by leveling up your Lancer are meh at best, and you can end up having multiple copies of those stickers. Why? At the end of the day, I'd say FragPunk has potential. The core gameplay can be improved, but the card system could be interesting if balanced well, and the fast-paced action might appeal to fans of the genre. But it's also entering a brutally competitive market, and we have seen quite a few such games fall apart due to bad balancing, weak content updates, or over-monetization, and the biggest of them all, player perception. At this moment, I genuinely feel that FragPunk is lacking its identity in the hero shooter space, and the sooner it figures out what it really wants to be, the better for the game and for the players who would like to stay invested in this game. Despite my skepticism, I'm rooting for this game to find success, because we need games that are innovative in this genre and will elevate the standards. Will FragPunk end up being different, or will it just be another game in the hero shooter graveyard? I hope we'll find out soon enough. What do you guys think? Does FragPunk look like a sleeper hit, or are you just as skeptical as I am? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more first impression and discussions. Thanks for watching, legends. Until next time, take care, much love, and peace.